Hello and welcome to Stay Hungry. I'm Fergus and today we're going to be talking about your website's health and what you can do for your SEO. So, what is SEO? If you've got a website, I guarantee that you've probably heard of SEO in some form or another, but do you know 100% what it is? Maybe not. Maybe you do, and this is a good refresher, but it's good that we all start on the same level, so let's jump into that. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, which sounds really intimidating, but basically it's your ongoing site health, and it's what Google and other search engines use, or the data that's provided by your SEO efforts, is what the search engines use to decide where you should rank for specific search queries and various things on Google. So does Google think that you're relevant for that search? That's essentially it. It tells Google what your content is and why it's relevant, and basically why that search engine should let you rank at all. So why is it important? Well, if that description doesn't make it very clear, a well-optimized website performs better. More people will see your website, more people will be pitched things based off their queries. So like if you used a used car salesman, and people are searching for used cars, if you've got a well-optimized website, more of your pages will rank higher for terms like used car Shrewsbury, used car Telford, all those kinds of things, which are very, very useful terms for a salesman. So that's essentially why it's important. Some things that go into it that are sometimes overlooked that I think would be good to mention is website speed. It's not strictly an SEO thing, but while you're doing SEO checks, you should tie that in too, because Google does pay attention to how quickly your website loads, and that will affect your search results and where you rank, so that is very important. Another one that Google takes into consideration that people forget about sometimes is mobile responsiveness. Does your website work on a mobile phone? 9 times out of 10, someone's going to look at your website, it'll be on their mobile phone or an iPad or something like that. People don't generally run to their computer when they want to get a service and Google it on the desktop. I know some people do, but generally speaking, it will be on the mobile device, so make sure the user experience on the mobile device is good. So yeah, that's some things that are overlooked. How do you do it well? Basically, you need a strategy. You need to understand that Google SEO isn't a one-off task that you do at the start of your website. Sure, do that first, but you need to have a strategy to basically maintain your SEO site health for the lifetime of your website. I mean, the rules change for SEO. It slows down and it speeds up. Sometimes Google decide that this is more valuable, or that this thing that people have been doing as a workaround isn't in the best interest of the user, and in that case you need to be aware of these changes so you can do your best effort to make your website rank well. It's good for the user and it's really good for your business, because if you only really want to rank for relevant searches anyway. So one part of that strategy is regular health checks. Make sure, set yourself some goals, maybe 3 months in, 9 months in, a year, whatever periods make sense to you, and just make sure that you're hitting your strategy targets. Make sure that everything is consistent. Which brings me to another point on it. Consistency is key. If you decide to format your titles in a certain way, so maybe your company name, a divider, then the service, and a tagline or something like that, make sure that's roughly the same where possible for all of your site titles. And the way you talk in your in your descriptions for the site descriptions, also important that you kind of use the same voice and pull that through. And another part of how to do it well, have a plan for new content going onto the website, because it's all well and good having it really nice there, and then month 5 you go in, put a new blog, a new image, you don't put the alt text on, you don't do a description, and you don't do the title properly, then that's going to be negatively affecting your website, and you don't want that. You want it to be, that blog should be a boost for your website and not something that brings it down. So have a plan, write it down, especially if you've got other members of staff, tell them what they need to do to achieve the best quality for your website. So that's essentially it. I've got a few takeaways for you, so you've got them for it. So essentially, SEO is what makes a difference for your ranking in search engines. It's what makes your website perform well, and it's what tells Google what your content is about. Best practices are always changing and evolving, so it's important to have some way of understanding what Google is changing, or what is best. Maybe some tips, or follow a marketer, or talk to a marketer, because we will have our fingers on the pulse, essentially. This is an ongoing commitment, it's not just a one-off, so make sure you've got that strategy, and consistency is key. If you'd like to talk about your website health, we are experts in SEO health, so book yourself a discovery call and we'd love to chat.